welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Bree. Today's video we're going to be doing a cozy 48-hour readathon. It is currently 1 degree Fahrenheit outside, so I am not doing anything outdoors today, and I thought that I could just do a very cozy readathon because a new book just released in, I think it was November or December, but I didn't know about it, and so I just got it in my hands and I cannot wait to read it, and that's The Witch Would Not by Olivia Atwater. If you saw my last reading vlog, I got it in that, and I've just been itching to read it, so I feel like a cozy readathon is like the perfect time to pick this up. So I'm going to be picking this up, and then to go along with the theme of cozy, by the way, this is a like cozy romance, historical romance, got like Victorian gothic vibes to it, so very excited for that. But I picked out a couple other books to read during this readathon that are all in that cozier genre because I want it just to feel like a super cozy and heartwarming reading vlog. So the other one I have is called A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic by J. Penner. This was a gift from my sister-in-law for Christmas, and I believe this is a self-published book that's supposed to be Lord of the Rings meets Great British Bake Off, so I'm very intrigued about this. I think it sounds so cute and just something that's going to be right up my alley, so I would like to try to get to this during the readathon. And then I have two graphic novels that I've been wanting to get to, and I just feel like I love cozy middle grade graphic novels. They're like the perfect kind of graphic novel for me, and so I have a couple here that I've been itching to get to. So the first one is I want to go to Bug Boys Outside and Beyond by Laura Ketzner. This is the second in the Bug Boys series. I think there's 3 out total, and I don't know if there'll be more, but this one is just like best friends that are little bug boys, and they go on little adventures, and it's just super heartwarming and sweet, and it's just like coming of age kind of stories, and I just love it. And the back says little bugs, big feelings, and I just love them so much. So I think I'm going to be trying to get to this in this reading vlog. And then also I just picked up recently Lightfall, The Girl in the Galdrian by Tim Probert, and I've heard this is a cozy one too, and just from the illustrations I can already tell it's going to be super cute. So this one's like a fantasy kind of adventure-y type graphic novel, so really excited to get to this one. And this is also a series, so if I like it I can continue it. And then I have a book from the library, that's the word, and it is probably due back soon because I think it's a newer release, but this is called The Door to Door Bookstore by Karsten Henn, and it's about a older guy, I think it's set in Germany, and he is like going door to door selling books to people, and then he kind of is like on his own kind of curmudgeon, and then I believe he ends up meeting up with this like little girl who is really fascinated by him and wants to follow him around and talk to the people he talks to, and so it becomes like a story about him getting out of his shell, and I think her getting like bits and pieces of other people's lives, and it just really sounds cute. I think I like a story where you have like an older character kind of set in their ways and then a younger character who kind of challenges them and gets them out of their shell a little bit, so I'm excited to pick this one up. Hopefully I'll get to that. So those are all my books for my 24-hour readathon. I should say it's about 9:30 right now, so we're going to start the readathon at 9:30 and it will go to 9:30 on Monday. Though I will have work, I will just wrap it up when I get back home. Without further ado, let's just get right into it because I cannot wait to pick this up. I've been waiting for too long, so I just need to start it. So let's get into it. I'll meet you there in just a second.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away? Show us where we are. What makes the sun go to sleep every night, and what's it dreaming of? I wonder. How come the sky sometimes hides behind the clouds? Maybe it's just like me, a little bit scared of heights. Why does the rain always keep on pouring down when it's gray outside? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. I wonder.
Well, I have made it to page 103 and I'm loving this so much. This is exactly what I needed. I have yet to have a 5-star this year, which I'm only finished. I finished 3, I DNF'd 1, so 4, and then I'm in the middle of 2 more books. So it's not like I've read, I guess, a ton to be like in a slump of 5 stars, but like I just really needed this specifically, something that I just know I'm gonna love. It's got the exact vibes I was hoping for. So I guess let me give you more of like background into what this is about. So I don't know for sure if it's going to be a romance because it does say on here beautiful gothic romance, but I'm not entirely sure. We're basically following our main character Winifred, and she goes to this home that's in a manor that she kind of gets there, and immediately everyone's kind of weary. They are having a hard time keeping staff, and she starts to believe that there are fairies present in the home and stuff like that. And you're slowly learning like why she's hired on to this place as a governess. You're just getting more snippets into like what's going on in this house. So it's kind of like a mystery of why the people at this house keep leaving or disappearing. People in the town keep disappearing. And it's definitely like got a lot of fairy lore within it, and I don't feel like that's a spoiler. Like I think that's pretty obvious by like the types of books Olivia Atwater writes. And I'm pretty sure it says it on the back. Yeah, it does say on the back. So like it's not really a spoiler to say like we're dealing with fairies in this. I will say if you were thinking about picking this one up before Half a Soul, I actually wouldn't, because we get a chapter in here where we're kind of talking about stuff that happened in the other series. So the first series was the Regency Fairy Tale series, which happens before, and the first one is Half a Soul, which you can see right here in green. And that then is followed up by this series, which is the Victorian Fairy Tale series, which is happening after. So probably around 100 years after. You're not getting like an exact date in here, but you definitely need to know what happens in there because there are some like ties to the people in the original series that can be seen in here. And so there's literally a whole chapter that would give away like all of the first book if you haven't read it. So I would highly recommend you read that series, especially the first one, before you read this one. But I'm loving how it's tied together. Like it's a loose tie together. Like it's not like you're having the same characters from that series in this one, but I'm really, really enjoying it. It's got definitely a darker gothic vibe to it. It's not quite as like cozy as the first one, but I still think it has this beautiful writing that Olivia Atwater just like sucks you into this story, and it feels very fairy tale like. I really like our main character Winifred. She's very kind of headstrong and she's very capable, and she doesn't really put up with people's like bullshit is the best way I can put it. So she comes from a background that's not as like easy on kids, and so she is just a little bit like tougher around the edges, and I think it's like really aided her in what she's doing here and like how she deals with fairies and stuff. Like she has a lot of determination and strength about her, and so I'm really liking it. And we're also like watching her as she's dealing with this child Robert, who is like the Lord. He's like 12, and she's having to protect him because like she is his governess in some ways, though you learn more about that. And I think that their like relationship is fun. I really like seeing her, who doesn't really want to deal with kids and gets annoyed with them, dealing with him, but also like him and how he's starting to like change and learn, because he does start off the book feeling very much like kind of a spoiled like 12-year-old boy, but you see like he has but you see that he has a lot of other things going on. So I'm really liking it. And we just got a scene that is kind of like in a dream sequence, and I really liked that addition to it because I think it's letting you see certain characters more deeply, and there's this like game element to it that I really, really like. So I'm loving this so far. And I have very exciting news because I was looking in the back just at the other series, and it says that the next book in this, called Rosemary and Thyme, is coming in 2024, so this year. And then there's Tales of the Iron Rose, which is a different series, and the first one's called Echoes of the Imperium, and that's also coming out in 2024, it looks like. And I was looking at Olivia Atwater's Goodreads, and the Tales of the Iron Rose, that one looks like it's been released. It looks like maybe her and her husband wrote it together, and I think maybe it's like now getting traditionally published. So I'm really excited for both of those because I can already tell I want to continue in this series. And then I'm just like ecstatic about anything that she comes out with, so I definitely will be picking up those two. I think I might take a little break soon and maybe read one of the graphic novels, because I like don't want this to end. And I know it's a readathon, so like I want to keep reading obviously, but I'm just like enjoying this so much I want to savor it a little bit. So I think that I might read maybe The Bug Boys or Lightfall in between, just to like break it up a little bit so I don't go through it too quickly, because I'm in love. I'm just truly having the best time. So that's my little update. I will check back in a little bit. I'll show you whatever I'm reading next, if it's this or the other stuff. But yeah, just had to say, loving it, having a great time. This is truly already the best weekend. I'm just... Thank you, Olivia Atwater, for coming out with another book. Which one?
Switch that for now. Maybe I never knew what I really wanted, but looking back I can see it's all clear. I'm still a kid trying to act like they all taught me, but nothing makes sense anymore. Oh, it hurts to grow up, 'cause nothing makes sense anymore. Oh, it hurts to grow up, 'cause nothing makes sense. No, nothing makes sense anymore. Good job, Bug Boys.
Are your characters ready for adventure? Half spider archer with a
Maybe I could
magic
have
bow.
seen it all coming,
Sylvia Silverstone. I'm
that I wouldn't grow
science.
wiser for
Tick
each day.
barbarian with fire powers and
Am I the
amnesia.
only one
How can
lost
someone be
in
a half
translation,
Magic, I guess.
where nothing
What's your
makes
character?
sense
Pillbug
anymore?
Jr. This character sheet is not acceptable. My God, forward.
Oh, it hurts to grow up, 'cause nothing makes sense anymore.
So I just finished Bug Boys. It was so cute. This one was dealing a little bit more with like growing up. So they explored a little bit of like friendship and having differences between each other, and noticing one bug is better than the other at different things, and just accepting like the things that they're good at. We also got to see them go into like a city and see life outside of their own home, and to discover what is important about their home and if maybe other experiences could be good for them. So I thought it was really, really cute. I love the Bug Boys. There's something so cozy and heartwarming about it, and just makes you smile, you know? So perfect cozy read. I would highly recommend, if you like graphic novels and like cute middle grade graphic novels like Tea Dragon Society and stuff like that, I would highly recommend this series. And also if you're just looking for something to read with a younger kid or something like that, like your child or something like that, I think that this is really cute and accessible, and just like something that, you know, teaches about growing up, and as an adult you can look at it and see, you know, different life lessons, and it's just very heartwarming and sweet. And I think my favorite, I have two, I think. There was one where they were playing, because they're all short stories, I don't know if I said that before, but there was one that they were playing D&D essentially. It's called Big Magic in Bug Village. I really liked that one. I thought that one was really cute. And then the one after it called the Pearl Dragon's Castle. But then there was also the one where they were in the city, and that one was called Little Bugs in the Big City. So really, like, not a one was a miss, but those were my three, like, favorite. I think there was about 5 stories total. So there is another volume that I don't have, and I definitely will continue with this because I just think it's so sweet and wholesome. So very happy to have this first book finished in the readathon. Now I'm going to get back to The Witch Would Not. I am at the 100-page mark, like I said the last time, so I think I'm going to try to get to like the 200-page mark and maybe check in. But yes, I'm going to continue this, and it is about, oh, throwing my phone. It's 1:45 right now, so I want to continue this and get a good chunk of the way through, if not finish it, so that I can make some progress on the readathon. While I'm saying this is a readathon, I'm not going to stay up all night. I should have prefaced that in the beginning. With my chronic illness and stuff, like not getting my full amount of sleep, it's just not a good thing for me. So I will be getting my full 8 hours of sleep. The point was just to read cozy things and just like focus on reading for the weekend. So it's not about like getting all the books read, but I do want to read more. I want to like try to finish this probably today. But I'm savoring it, so I just don't want it to end, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna continue reading. I will let you know when I have more updates for you. So it's a bit later now. It's 4:25, so almost 4:30, and I made it to the 200-page mark. I showered, and I've been chilling. So I think I'm gonna finish this in a little bit after we hang up. After this clip, I will probably read more, but I do think I'm going to take a little bit of a break to play a cozy game that Noah and I have been playing together. It's called Palia. It's free to play. You can play it on the computer or Switch, and we've been playing it primarily on Switch, and it's just really fun. It's like an open world, but it feels like cozy farming sim, but there's a lot of fun things. So I think I want to take a break and do that, just to like switch it up. But I made it to the 200-page mark, Which Would Not, and still loving it. Still think it's really good. It's darker than Half a Soul, that like whole trilogy. It definitely has the gothic vibes to it and kind of creepy manner. It's not like horror to me. It's just like got a little bit of eeriness, like a fairy tale, darker fairy tale kind of feel to it. But I'm really liking it. It's turned in a direction that I found really interesting. I feel like the whole thing has kind of a mystery to it because you're trying to figure out like what's going on in this manor, and I really like that because while we're getting more information, it's still like leaving you in suspense of like what's really going on and what's the truth, and everyone's kind of talking in riddles and stuff, and so I find that really fun. So there was just a scene that we got with Winifred and then another character and her familiar Oliver that she calls Ollie, and I really liked that scene. I think it really added to the story, and I like the glimpses that we're seeing of something coming about. I know that's cryptic, but I'm really enjoying it. Like I really want to finish this, and I'm just having like a really good time with it. I will say it's not like I said, it's not as cozy, so I don't feel as like heartwarming as Half a Soul, but I still really like it. I really like the way Olivia Atwater writes. I just feel like it's got a very fairy tale feel, and it's got a coziness to it that I can't describe very well, but just the writing is really good. I could just really see this for people who want something in the fall that feels a little spookier, feels a little more gothic and eerie without being like scary. I think this is a great one. It's got a mystery horror-y vibe without being horror, if that makes sense. So highly recommending it. I'm very happy I'm reading it for this readathon, and I will continue and let you know my final thoughts when I wrap up. Hello. It is now Sunday. I haven't done any reading today because I was trying to get my video up so that it would be uploaded and all done before reading sprints, because we have reading sprints at 11 a.m. So Noah and I usually get on like a half an hour early because I am so afraid of missing it. So we have about 15 minutes till I want to like log on and be prepared. But I did finish this last night, and so I want to give final thoughts. I would say final thoughts, I don't really have like more to add than what I've already said, except for that I didn't in the end feel like it was a full 5-star, which isn't really fair to the book because of the fact that Olivia Atwater wrote Half a Soul because it's an all-time favorite book for me, and I haven't found anything to top it in like the fantasy romance genre. Like her new book like was so good, but I just keep thinking about Half a Soul and like it wasn't as good as Half a Soul, and that's not really fair to her because she wasn't really trying to write like a second Half a Soul, you know? So it's like a 4.5. Like it's not quite a 5 because I just feel like in my heart it's not that same level, but I really, really liked it. I will say the only other addition is that she does put at the beginning of the book a content warning for readers. It's about sexual assault and stuff like that. So like the content is heavier and it's in a gothic sense. So it's going to be a bit more dark and eerie. And so for that, it just felt a little like heavier than her other books. So I would say going in like knowing that I think would be really important. But overall, I really liked what she was doing with this and like the messaging she was talking about, because she always has kind of like a plot, but it's always talking about like more themes to it. So like in Half a Soul, she talks a lot about privilege and class and that. And in this, she's talking about a lot of like sexual assault and like autonomy and what it means to like be in control of yourself and what it means to like worry about your own body and how it's going to be used in bad ways. So like it had a lot of darker things to talk about, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was so good. I'm excited to get to the next one. It should be coming out in 2024. It's going to be called Rosemary and Thyme, it looks like. And yeah, I just can't wait. This one is going to also be, I feel, much more connected than the other ones. The other ones were almost like stories in the world during that time period, and you see characters overlap. But this ends in a way that feels like we're going to be continuing this arc, this plot. So I'm very intrigued to see what she does, and I really loved it. I would recommend it if you like Olivia Atwater, as long as you feel like the content warnings are for you. As always, just, you know, looking into content warnings is important, and I've been doing that a lot more this year. But I do feel like she handled it in a way that was, sometimes it could be a little hard to read, but it never felt over the top for me. It never felt like without a purpose. And I really appreciated her author's note at the end, why she depicted things the way she did and stuff like that. And so I overall loved it. So that is second book down for this readathon. And when we start reading sprints, I think I'm going to start with reading Lightfall, and then I think I'm going to go into A Fellowship of Bakers Magic so that I can finish another one for the blog. And I've been really wanting to get to this ever since I picked it up. So that's going to be the first priority, then this one. We'll see how much I can get through today. If I have one other book, well, I mean, I have a lot of other books I could choose from, but I have one other book that I talked to you about in the beginning that I hopefully can get to, but I'm not really sure. I think I'll probably end up just getting through these two. Hello, we are live.
I know, I had to take a drink of water right when you started. I
Yeah,
couldn't wait.
I even said I'm clicking go live.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. I had to take a drink. What can I say? I'm a thirsty guy.
Well, hello, welcome everyone. Oh, thanks for joining us, Pips.
Yeah. He's been.
What are you gonna be reading, sir?
I'm gonna be reading The Top of Dad's Head. That's what I'm reading. He's gonna come back now. Yeah. Thank you, Pips. He's been really enjoying.
Don't show your butt to the camera.
He's been really enjoying coming up and giving me head rubs and stuff. And so he says, "Dad, I know that we already hung out this morning, but I have to join you now."
so we're still on sprints, but I wanted to tell you that I read Lightball and loved it. Finish it. So cute. It was adorable. I love this like adventure. You're getting a look at a young girl, B, who is very anxious. She has a lot of anxiety about a lot of things, and you're seeing her like work through that. And she meets this Galdrian who is the last of his kind, and he's looking for his family, and her grandfather goes missing, and so she's trying to find him, and they go on this adventure together, and you see her kind of work through some of her anxiety and just like the way she deals with it, and the way that Cad, who is the Galdrian, helps her along. And then he is also just very like happy-go-lucky and just wants adventure, and so he's kind of the opposite to her, where she's very reserved and worries about a lot of things. He's just kind of like jumps into things without really thinking, and it's just about their trying to find her grandfather, and then this bigger thing is unfolding, and I love it so much. I'm definitely going to be continuing. This was just such a perfect cozy read for this reading vlog. Like, it was exactly what I was looking for in terms of graphic novels. Like, it just had this sense of whimsy and adventure, and my goodness, is the illustrations just stunning. It's just beautiful. Like, there is part in the beginning where she's like foraging for different things for her grandfather, and that was like just so beautiful. The illustrations, the whole thing is just amazing. I really love this. I would highly recommend this graphic novel. It's got a little bit of a darker theme in terms of the thing that's happening. It's got a sinisterness to it, but I don't feel like it goes into like a really scary territory. Like, it still feels cozy and wholesome. I'm just really interested to see how they develop in their like character journeys, and I just love them. I want the best for them. I love the cat too. The cat's always getting into shenanigans. There's like a part where they're like captured and they're trying to get the cat to help, and it just curls up by the fire and just falls asleep. And if that isn't a cat, I don't know what is. So yeah, really loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. So happy I read it. And then I have 8 minutes left on the sprint, so I'm gonna start A Fellowship of Bakers Magic now. I did kind of start last night. I got 4 pages in, so not really. But I'll let you know some thoughts when I get more progress into it. But I'm hoping I can make it to at least page 100 before the sprints are done. So we'll see. So it's a bit later now. I think it's around 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And we got off sprints and I just haven't been feeling the best. So I haven't done a ton of reading. I'm lying here in bed. But I did reach 100 pages, well, 90 pages in A Fellowship of Baker's Magic. So I wanted to check in. I'm going to try to finish this tonight, but I probably won't check in until tomorrow because I'm just not feeling great. So I think I need to just take it easy and just rest. This is about a human who has a bakery, and she is like really good at baking, and she is kind of lonely, but she has these 2 neighbors who kind of look after her, and they end up entering her in a baking competition, and this elf comes to like give her an invitation, and she doesn't want to go because she's nervous about it, and she's human, so she's magicless, and she just thinks that everyone's gonna like not take her seriously. So he says that if she sells out of her baked goods at the market that they are at, that she'll go with him. He like challenges her to that, and then if they don't sell out, then she can stay. And so she sells out, so they go. And so far, it like they literally just got to the castle to like do the baking thing. So the first like good bit of it was her like deciding to go, and then their like little journey to get to the castle. And so far I'm liking it. I think my one critique so far is that I just never feel like I forget that I'm reading. I think that the characters are cute, like I like their dynamic, I like seeing the world and things like that, but I just feel like every time I'm reading, like I'm very aware that I'm reading a book. It's just not like sweeping me away like the stories I really love, but I do think it's cozy so far, and I do like the inclusion of baked stuff. And I was flipping to the back and I saw that there are multiple like baking recipes in the back to go along with it. So there's salted brown butter chocolate chip cookies, and it's got a whole instructions, and then there's lemon bars with cardamom shortbread crust and Earl Grey cherry scones. And I just think, yeah, that's the only one. I just think that's really fun that you could like make the goods along with it. So I think we're about to get into like the competition side, so I hope that that makes it even better, and I want to see some like maybe friendships forming, because right now we're only seeing them 2, which is gonna very much be like a romance, I'm assuming. But I also saw on the back it says that it has self-discovery and heartwarming friendships, so I'm really here for the heartwarming friendships. So I want to see that occur, and she just met someone that I think could be that. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna read, and I will talk to you tomorrow when I'm feeling a little bit better. Hi, well, I'm here to wrap up the vlog. So the last I updated you, it was Sunday, and I was reading A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. It's now the previous Sunday, and I've just had a lot of health issues come up since that clip, and so I did not get to finally updating you, but I did actually finish that book on Sunday. So let's talk about final thoughts of this. For one, I don't think that comparing it to The Hobbit is really there. It's got just like different kind of characters and different kind of, I don't know what you call them, like races and stuff. So like there's barbarians, there's ogres, there's elves, stuff like that. So in that way, yes, but at the same time, I think that's the only really connection to that. But if you're looking for a cozy fantasy with the Great British Bake Show, that is definitely in here. The competition part, like if you really like competitions, that is a big part of the story, and it really does take up a good chunk of it. My main critique is that our main character, Arletta, she just has a lot of things that she works through throughout the story that I think would have been more powerful had it not come across more just like she was having these problems and it was just really her being too stubborn to move past them, because there's so many things that she's like worried about. Like she talks a lot about being a human in this world and being like looked down upon because she doesn't have magic and all this stuff, but we're never really shown anybody except for one character that treats her any different for being human. And then also with like the romance and stuff, there's so much that she holds back from the romance that like she could have just accepted and moved forward, and instead spends like most of the book saying no. But you like again don't get enough to like understand why. It just feels like she's just saying like I can't, and you're like okay, but could you? You know. So I think for that reason it isn't higher for me, but I do think it is a cozy story. It's heartwarming. I think I would continue maybe on to the second book, because I guess this is going to be a series, just to see how the characters develop more, because I do like the like friendships and stuff. I just think a lot of it was a little too easy. But if you're looking literally for a cozy fantasy with baking, like this is it. And I do think it does that vibe really well. I liked the inclusion. There was like little fairies that come around and cool off their bakes and stuff like that. I thought that was fun. I hope like in the next books to get more perspectives than just Arletta. It would make it a more well-rounded story, because I just don't think Arletta is like the most compelling character to follow. And based on like how the one ends, I'm thinking we'll get more backstories into the other characters, and so I'm hoping we can get like their perspectives, because I think that would round out the story. Overall, just not a win, but I wouldn't say it was like a horrible book. It just wasn't my favorite. And then I also read The Witch Would Not by Olivia Atwater. Loved it, as we know. Most of the video is probably me gushing about this book. Then we have Lightfall, which I also loved, gave 5 stars. This is so cute. Definitely will be continuing on, and like soon. I keep thinking about this book. It was so fun and just a really cute graphic novel. And then finally, Bug Boys by Laura Kensner. This is the second one. Loved it as well. It was a really good time, and I would recommend this one as well if you're looking for graphic novels. So overall, great little readathon, even though I got sick at the end. It was just fun to get back into reading. I feel like doing this really helped propel me back into being excited about books, where at the beginning of the year I kind of just was feeling meh about reading and books, which is fine always to take a break when you need it, but I was like really wanting to read. I just wasn't excited about the things I'm picking up. So doing this really helped me, and I've found some books I really like since then. So it was a good little readathon for me to do. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.